This is a topic that I thought we could save for a little bit longer, but then honestly, it was really weighing on my mind heavily this week. So I texted Brig and I said, hey, I've got a topic for us. What would the MLB season look like if it's shortened? Like, how many games would they play? How would they arrange those games? And then what would you do going forward? So that's what we're going to talk about. What would the MLB season look like if we got to play it? If they actually played the season. So,
Yep.
here we go. I'll start with mine. Are you ready?
Well, I think yours is the best, so let's just do yours because
Okay.
it's awesome.
All right. So I mentioned earlier that I thought June 1st was like best case scenario. So that's what I went with. I picked best case scenario. That I honestly don't think that they're going to be playing games in May. Okay.
I don't think so either. Yeah, I totally agree.
So first off, I don't think that there's going to be any gate at any of these games. I think it's going to be a season without fans. I mean, am I outrageous in thinking that?
I think well, man, I didn't even think about that.
Because I mean,
Did you know that a team makes up 40% of their profits in the ballpark with tickets and concessions and stuff like that?
it makes sense. I mean, I believe it.
It's like 40% of their revenue generates from fan attendance in person.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate that they might end up not having fans there this season.
Right. I didn't even think about that. If they continue to play the whole season without fans, that's a nightmare doomsday scenario.
It is.
For
Well, and the reason I say
especially
that,
small market teams.
yeah, and the reason I say that is because I read a report a couple days ago that said this whole thing could go on for 18 months.
Yeah.
That
It could.
in waves, like up and down. Like we'll have a little bit like spans of normal life, and then we'll go back to quarantining and things like that. But it could take up to 18 months to be in the clear with this. And I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying that's what I read. Okay, that's what I read
Right.
online.
And
So
I hope that is so false.
so do I. I absolutely do too. But at the same time, like if that's the case, then I don't think there's going to be fans in ballparks this year. And playing in front of an empty stadium is not unprecedented. A few years ago, when there was the Baltimore riots going on, the Orioles and White Sox played in an empty stadium. And honestly, it was kind of a fun game to watch because if they keep the same number of shotgun mics out there, you can really hear what's going on. It's like everybody's mic'd up, and the players had the players had some fun with it. And I'm sure one or two games, they had some fun with it, and I'm sure it'd eventually get really old, but they're having fun. Like they would go as they got the third out, they were running to the dugout. They'd toss the ball up into the empty stands like they were thrown to a fan, and they would even wave the ball like who wants it, and then they'd throw it. I think Chris Davis even threw it into the upper deck just because there was nobody there to hurt with it, So,
That's awesome.
So, the guys can kind of have some fun with it, and I'm sure, like I said, the first few games it'll be fun, but then it'll get really old, really quiet. It'll be like playing in high school again for most of those guys.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There's a level of purity to not having any fans there, but at the same time, I like to go to baseball games. So,
yeah, I do too.
So
I think I'm really hoping that we get at least August, September. At this point, everything's so slow and they're being so careful, which I think is appropriate.
Right.
But I think that we should not expect to attend a ball game until August or September, August at the soonest.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree. So, if the season does happen, I said June 1st is the absolute best case scenario. So, this is what I have. Are you ready, Brig?
I'm ready, man.
Here we go. Okay. So, I have 122 games. Oh, sorry. It's going to start June 1st, go through September 30th. So, that's 122 days. Okay.
Yeah.
17 weeks, 3 days. Now, I have 102 games in that period.
Yeah.
Okay. That's grueling. That's a lot in a short amount of time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot going on. And the way that breaks down is it breaks down to exactly 8 games against each league opponent. So, I'm a Mariners fan. I'll go with the Mariners. So, 8 games against the Astros.
You're a Mariners fan?
Right?
Sorry. You don't say.
Oh.
No, I didn't know that.
Breaking news.
Oh, okay.
So,
All
anyways,
right, so the Mariners.
that's 8 games against the Astros, Angels, A's, Rangers, and then 8 games against the Yankees, Red Sox, Rays, everybody. There's no interleague play though. Okay,
Right,
because
0.
Yeah, because it breaks down perfectly to have 8 games against 14 teams. That's 102.
Yeah, there you go.
So, and then, like I said, no interleague play. Each team plays a Saturday doubleheader every other week, and that gives you 1 day off per week for the entire season. Which doubleheaders are tough, but what you could also do is you could expand the rosters, right?
Mm-hmm. You'd have to.
They're going to have a 26-man go up to 30, 35 maybe. Bring the whole 40-man roster up this year. I don't know.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
Getting crazy with the 40-man roster. I
Easy,
know.
Rob. Easy, Rob.
But
Okay.
you'd have to expand the rosters because that's a lot of games
Yeah,
in
would.
not very long period,
Yeah. Which I think would be really cool, actually. Not
would be
maybe
cool,
all the way to 40, but that's
Yeah.
too. The CDC won't let us have 40 people in the same dugout. But
That's true. Yeah, there's a lot of violations going on.
Don't call fire marshal. Anyway, yeah, sorry.
But no, like I bring it up to 30, get a couple extra pitchers in there, a couple extra position players,
Yes.
I think it would be good. And there are honestly, like, I would love that because there are guys in the minor leagues, in the Mariners minor league system who I can't wait to see. I would like to see them,
Me too.
So
Yeah, I'm with you. Across
All
the
right.
league, actually. Yeah. I'm
yeah,
with you.
absolutely. There are minor leaguers who I'd like to see. And it as far as service time goes, it might benefit them, it might hurt them. I don't know. I'm sure
we'll
I'm
see.
sure the clubs wouldn't like it, but whatever. However that shakes out.
Right.
Okay. So double headers every other week. Every other Saturday, no All-Star game. Not enough time to do an All-Star game. I mean, whether you're
I love
playing
that.
102 games in 122 days, it doesn't matter. You've only got a 122-day season. There's not going to be an All-Star game this year.
Yeah.
I heard somebody proposing, like, well, you got to fit the All-Star break in there. Like, no, there's not going to be an All-Star game. That's stupid.
It's stupid.
No time for an All-Star break.
Yeah, it's true.
And then, like I said, the season ends September 30th, and the playoffs proceed as normal on October 3rd.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So
That's
what do you think,
jamming it
Rick?
in there, man.
it is. It's aggressive, but these guys are professionals. I trust that they can do it. Because, I mean, there are times they play 15 games in 17 days.
Yeah, that's true. But then they go way the other way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I like it. I like that. Is if they can expand the roster to deal with management, injury management, and stuff like that. I like it. I do like that a lot better than the proposals we've heard about playing the playoffs in the World Series at Christmas.
Yeah, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. I mean, yeah, you can do neutral sites. You can go. I mean, you could technically play in Seattle in December because
because they're not going to make it.
No, they're not. And you've got a neutral site option. Hey, I have no delusions of grandeur about Seattle making the World Series, even in a shortened season.
How about we play the first 2 games in T-Mobile Park, then the next 2 games at the Trop, and then we do 1-1-1.
Don't. You can't go to the Trop. You cannot go to the Trop. How about
Arlington's new cemetery? Holy
it
crap!
might be.
Mm-hmm.
No, you could play in the new Arlington Stadium. I would say
there you
Chase, but I read some stuff recently that I don't know if they're going to even be playing games there this year. There's some roof issues. But,
oh no, really?
I mean, LA's nice in December, right?
Yeah, LA's nice and it's outdoor. That'd be better for quarantine purposes and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if I'd go to Chavez Ravine just because it's a disaster getting in and out of that place.
I mean,
but
that's true.
Go down south to Anaheim, play at Angel Stadium.
There you go. Anaheim,
or
San
even
Diego. Petco's gorgeous.
Petco, yeah, that's where I was headed next. Head down to San Diego. Everybody loves San Diego in December.
Petco's amazing, dude. Well, and if we're talking about San Diego, why don't we all go to Marlins Stadium down in Miami?
Yeah, there you go. That's another great one. That's a stadium.
Marlins Park is beautiful, man. That retractable roof, that's that big wall that comes down or that slides open. I mean, I've been there, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of the ones that's on my bucket list. I want to make it to Marlins Stadium, and like I said, that's a stadium that's been waiting to be used since they built it. So,
Yeah, you
so
right.
why not? Why not? I know they're going to be using it for the World Baseball Classic next year, but get some use in
Mm-hmm.
December. Warm it up a little bit.
Warm it up. Let me come down and warm
So,
it up with you.
absolutely. So yeah, there is plenty of places
Mm-hmm.
they could play, but they would have to definitely be neutral site,
Yeah.
and I'm sure the players would like that too because if you play 7 games in one place,
Mm.
and no travel, that'd be nice.
That'd be
Spend a
nice.
spend a
Whoa.
week and a half in South Beach,
Or in
but then you got to
Petco
deal
in
with the
San
South Beach
Diego.
flu. Yeah, and so I'd rather actually put it at Petco.
I
I
would
think
too.
that's
Petco,
the
man.
place to do it.
That's a great ballpark.
It is. That is a beautiful park, and
Yeah.
it might be the only time they get a World Series. Um,
Yeah. Host to host one. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know
Unfortunately,
about that, man. I
but
think San Diego's got something coming in the next few
I
years
do too. I think they do too. I mean,
with Fernando Tatis
yeah,
and
man. Yeah.
Machado, and I just
Can
think,
I? Speaking of Tatis, Fernando Tatis Jr. So we were, we last week we did the episode, the spring training episode,
yeah,
and we the Mariners were playing the Padres, the game we went to, and I was like, oh sweet, Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis, those are like two of my favorite guys. We got to see Manny Machado. We were on the third base line. He was right there. That was
nice.
awesome. Tatis did not play that day.
Oh,
I was so upset. We walked by
yeah,
and saw because they have the starting lineups on like whiteboards outside
yeah,
the
yeah.
stadium, which is super cool the way they do
That's
that.
cool.
But it's like, oh, man, probably missed him by a day. But
Yeah, you probably, or it's one of those days where they're playing half the roster in one ballpark,
yeah,
half the
yeah, it
roster in
could
the
have been a
other,
split
something
squad.
like that.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right. I think it was a split squad now that you mention it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, for reals though, I think you're right. I think San Diego could be getting a World Series here pretty soon. But at the same time, like I don't think there's any other neutral site that would be better if San
Yeah.
Diego's not playing in it.
So
I
let
think
me
that's
ask you
the
this then:
spot.
would you rather see the season extend a little further into the year, or would you rather do your very aggressive, grueling 102 games or 100 games or whatever it was in, and make it to October 3? Like,
The only
which one
reason
serves the fans better?
So the only reason I like really wanted to start the playoffs as usual is because if the World Series extends at all, you start to get into snowouts.
Yeah, that's true.
And I am not here for snowouts. I do not like watching baseball in snow.
No.
Baseball is not meant to be played in snow. So if
Yeah.
you were to extend the season deeper and maybe play the Worlds or play the playoffs in like November, December, and get the playoffs around or the World Series around Christmas time, you might have to play the whole playoffs in San Diego.
Right. That's true.
So, yeah, that's my only hesitation with that.
That's a good
because,
point.
Because I don't want to be watching these guys play in snow, watch it get snowed out, and have to finish the game the next day, and then
Well,
play a doubleheader
injuries
or
and
whatever.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, so that's really why I pushed it to October 3.
I like it. I like it a lot, actually. And if you expand the roster, it's possible. If you don't expand the roster, it's not possible.
Yeah, and I think they're going to expand the rosters anyway. I think they're going to have to with a shortened season, just because they're going to try to be getting so many games in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
That I think we're going to see expanded rosters this year and beyond the 26 man that we already see.
Mm-hmm. And they're going to have to lift blackout restrictions.
Oh yeah, they have to. They really.
I mean,
should,
they got to
especially
have
if
to
there's no
do that
fans.
anyway, but they're going to have
Yeah.
to do it with a short season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gosh, I hate blackout restrictions.
Man,
I live in Western Idaho and I can't watch the Mariners on MLB TV.
it's so stupid, man.
It's the worst. It is absolutely terrible.
The only reason all my neighbors pay for cable, the only reason they pay for cable or satellite or whatever is because the
Like-
Braves, they can't get the Braves game on MLB TV, man.
Yeah, yeah. Like that's
Can't
one
do
thing. Baseball needs to get with the times. We talked about cord cutting. It's the way of the world now. You have to understand that's what's going to be. People
Yep.
consume their baseball with MLB TV.
Yeah.
And if I'm paying for a subscription, I should be able to watch any game I want.
Yep.
So
For $120 a year? Heck yeah, dude.
yeah, no kidding, man. For
Yeah.
real.
Well, I
For
just
real.
think that with the shortened season, that's going to have to be accelerated.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and that's a good opportunity to make that argument. right? This is a perfect opportunity for that.
I
think
agree,
they should
yeah.
have televised spring training games.
There were some that were
Yeah, but
televised.
it
You
was
could
not
you could get
enough.
them every once in a while, but no, not enough. As I was flying down to Arizona, actually, I watched the Yankees and Red Sox on the plane.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good time. I was like, nice little primer. It was fun.
Yeah. I was at a work lunch that day,
Yeah,
or I think it was that day. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, I think your plan is aggressive, and I like
yeah.
it. I like it a lot because all of the arguments you made make a whole heap of sense.
Well, and you could easily. I feel like you could kind of lean it a little bit toward what we have now, as far as uneven play against other league opponents, right?
Yeah.
Like play 7 games against the Central instead of 8, and then play 8 games against the East. You can do that, but this way the schedule is completely even for everybody. The Astros aren't benefiting from playing 8 games against the Mariners, where, and then 4 games against the Yankees.
Yep.
Instead, the Yankees have to play 8 games against the Astros, 8 games against the Mariners, 8 games against the Red Sox. So makes for a perfectly even schedule, and you can truly gauge where everybody is entering the playoffs.
I love it. And then they've never seen the other teams, and it becomes a more pure playoff race. I like that.
Yeah, that's right. You get to the World Series and you haven't seen that team. That's a great point.
Yeah,
I like it.
I've never been a huge fan of interleague play anyway.
It feels, and I understand you have to do it now because of league balance.
Right.
There's 15 teams in each, so you have to have an interleague play series pretty much every day. Yeah, every day actually. But yeah, no, it feels, interleague play has always felt like a gimmick.
Yep. Yep.
It's always felt off balance to me. So I'm not a huge fan of it either. But at the same time, I mean, it is fun getting to see the Angels and Dodgers play and the Yankees and Mets play.
I mean, I agree with you. The Subway Series is a perfect example. It's a perfect example. But at the same time, like, why don't we pick one interleague opponent per year and do one series interleague, and that's it? And it could be your interleague rival, just like the Yankees-Mets, crosstown rival. That's the only one available. If they expand to 2 more teams and we go to 16 and 16, AL, NL, you could cut all interleague play except for that one series.
Yep.
That would be
that would be it should be
perfect.
That would be,
because you got to play your crosstown rival. You have to.
Yeah, you do because I mean that helps with the gate.
Yeah,
it helps with TV ratings, and there's so much that goes into that you have to do it. I totally agree. That it's pretty much necessary to do that.
It is. Well, it's just so much fun.
Yeah,
it
really is.
It's just a riot. So I think that if we go to two more teams, we get 32 teams. We go 16 and 16. Yeah, just like I said, right? Man, I just got all goosebumpy. That's woo. It's another drop in the bucket on that argument right there.